Well, welcome back, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the scintillating Steve Frazier.
Welcome, everyone, to November 20th, 1990.
Yes. We are doing the second half of the It mini-series today, guys. So this is going to be a very interesting type of thing for people with the Blu-ray or a HD digital copy of the thing, because we are starting from the timestamp of 1 hour 34 minutes. Now that's where the second half, the night 2, would begin, as they kind of edit the Blu-ray into like a single feature. This kind of cut out the end credits of part 1 and the opening credits of part 2. So if you're watching from an earlier version of it that does have more of that preserved, it's going to be slightly different. But basically the thing's going to start out right after the opening credits of part 2, where we have Bill driving to town, I believe.
Yes.
And so
we've got night 1 ending with Stan's wife screaming at his dead body in the bathtub.
Yes.
And then it cuts to black. And literally the next scene is Bill in the taxi cab arriving to town. So when you started at 1:34, you should see a pause of a taxi cab and a little cemetery in the front.
Mm-hmm. So there's not an actual chapter break. You'll just have to adjust it to get the timestamp. So hopefully we give you enough time to do that. So turn on your subtitles and get your timestamp to 1:34.
Even.
And we'll get going with a countdown to sync up, guys. So thanks so much. And in 3, 2, 1, play.
I've done the research here, and November 18th, 1990 was a Sunday night, and this aired on a Tuesday night. So I'm going to guess that ABC airing Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, yeah. That would seem right.
Makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's hair is bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's great from the front, it's great from the back, but the combo, not great.
Yeah, just...
You're telling me that Georgie was... Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I did the math wrong. Look at that. This is such a great little thing. Now, at this point, I don't know if the adults know that Stanley has not made it.
I don't think that happens yet.
I feel like they find out later. That'd be a fun little cemetery to try to find the location of.
Sure. I believe they shot all in Vancouver.
Yeah. I believe that is correct. Yeah, here he's got his own little
corner of the place.
Right. Gnaw, the smile, the glowing. All of these are like
faint echoes of what they went through.
Yes. He's got to be a regular celebrity. I love that Mike works at the library like lives at the library.
Yeah.
He's even got his hair tied with like a piece of twine or some shit. What is this? Like a leather shoelace.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he mention it? Like, oh, by the way, I saw the clown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the crux of the whole thing. I never left. which I think that this is doing a really good job.
Yeah. Of selling you the concept.
Right. And I really think the theatrical one kind of just pushed it by the wayside.
Yeah.
And the back and forth is what allows that to be a thing.
Yeah.
And that is completely eliminated,
Yeah.
as we've discussed.
Yeah. Or they did so much redundant stuff doing chapter 2 that just felt like meandering.
Right. And I know we touched on it toward the end of the last one, but originally this was intended to be a much longer series.
Yeah.
And George Romero was attached to, I don't know if he was attached to write, but
there it is.
Hi-Yo Silver. So there's a quick little fix for the length problem.
Yeah.
In the book, Bill is walking around town reminiscing and sees
it in the shop. Which is what they do in the other version.
And that's what happens in the book.
That's the scene where King cameos.
Correct.
Shop owner.
Secondhand Rose, I believe, was the name of the shop. So we don't have time for that, so we just have Mike say, I found it at a pawn shop. Here it is.
Still works.
Totally fine.
It's not about the process of how he finds it, is what it means to his memories.
Right. And the essence of having things slowly come back, sometimes they come back, really is done well here. That mustache, like
it's got to go.
So yeah, 40 years old is what they're supposed to be. Which is younger than we are now.
Yeah.
God damn it. He's doing a good job of being flustered.
Yeah.
He died a while back, right?
Yeah. I think that's Kate Hodge from Chainsaw 3.
Is it really?
Sure as hell looks like her.
I have put those out of my memory as if I'm from
fine.
Derry.
She was in the very good Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. Looks like her. Maybe not. Look like her. No, it was not her, but sure as hell looked like her.
Here, now they're doing a good job here of making it where the people just don't.
Yeah. Completely unaffected, unaware.
The noisemaker really just gets me.
Super familiar.
And now, Mike has not seen the clown, correct? At this point, in his adult form?
I know they have not revealed that to us.
So, we've had Bill see the clown.
I think I found her.
And we've got Richie.
I have seen her before. She was Fox Mulder's sister on the X-Files. But she's very strongly resembles Kate Hodge. I think he's gonna see him now.
This actor is really good.
Tim Reid?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Venus Flytrap, WKRP.
That's right.
I mean, he's just a TV mainstay.
That's great. And then they cut. Yes. It's perfect.
Yeah. I'd probably say, in terms of likeness, Mike's the best casting in that regard. The two actors look very much alike.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like him and Brandis don't look that much alike.
I guess I see it, but
Brandis got the kind of blondish hair. He doesn't have a little mole thing on his cheek.
The mole.
They should have put the mole on
right,
Brandis.
Yeah. Like, I believe this chemistry.
Yeah,
this camaraderie.
Yeah, totally.
And the stuttering is better in this one than in the theatrical.
Yeah.
Here's another fade out. We were talking at lunch.
Yeah.
How
part one didn't feel. The first half didn't feel like they kept in the fade outs.
Right. So the fade out between at the end of part one made sense.
Yeah.
So we were also talking at lunch about the writing and
the writers on the whole thing,
and how Tommy Lee Wallace had a co-writer on that first one, the first night.
Yeah, Lawrence Cohen.
And I think that they had both written a bunch of stuff for part two, or...
Well, Wallace is the only credit on part two.
Right, but I think originally there was more, and then there were some cuts, and ABC, like, maybe reduced it down from 3 parts to 2 parts or something, and then
Possibly.
He had to rewrite basically the whole part 2 himself. Mm-hmm. And they tell the story in that documentary, the Pennywise documentary. I just don't recall it.
Yeah, it's the time we're recording this up on Tubi. You can watch it for free.
Porky!
Again. Different set of bullies, too.
Well, this is modern. This is current.
Oh, okay.
He's witnessing...
I just saw the flashback stuff before. I don't know, it's interesting. Yeah.
He's witnessing basically a stunt double for his younger self.
All that filth water, that's going to do you good. Don't get infected. All the algae and the dirt and everything.
Like, why is this adult man lurking around the children playing in the barrens?
Like his jacket.
Certainly, in the book, his character didn't imagine Pennywise as a reincarnation of his daddy.
Hmm.
And I don't remember what the story was.
Hmm.
In fact, in the new one, they...
There's always a bum lurking somewhere.
Oh, you gotta have a bum. In the new one, they have been finding that Easter egg that is burning because of the Kitchener Ironworks Easter egg hunt. The imagery is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over how perfect it is to have the clown and just the clown being placed throughout town, and you know, Columbia drugs.
Say the guy that came looks like George Romero.
A little bit. That and the Jurassic Park guy.
Richard Attenborough.
That's him.
It's Walter White.
Walter White making a comeback. I don't know if you saw that. They're doing a new movie.
Oh.
It's like a 2-hour sequel, I guess.
Okay. Nothing about this.
Yeah, and I forget what it's called. Comes out this fall as we're recording this. But yeah, that looks like Heisenberg. It might just be called Heisenberg.
Yeah, he looks straight out of Cranston.
Yeah, straight out of Cranston. I need that on a T-shirt, please. I like that the doctor's the one to tip him off.
Mm-hmm.
This,
thick glasses.
I know. This guy that's playing George Keane, the son of famed dairy pharmacist Mr. Keane, who's been in countless books.
Sure.
The son, the actor playing the son with the glasses,
Sure.
looks to me more like an Eddie Kasbrak than this actor.
Kind of.
You know what I mean? Like, this guy looks like a theater nerd. Like, he
It
should
looks
be...
like they wanted Roddy McDowell but couldn't afford him.
Right. Like, this guy needs to be on Broadway. And...
Oddly enough. Tommy Wallace had just worked with Roddy McDowell in Fright Night Part 2.
See, what a bad reaction that is.
Yeah.
I like that they have the Curry voice coming out of him. Girly boy, they said. Which is interesting because in this iteration,
Yeah.
you know, the mom character says, you don't need any friends, you just need your mom.
Yeah.
And then he calls him a girly boy. Like, the implication is that he's gay.
Yeah.
But
Which is the way it is in... Is it in the novel? I know it's in the remake, isn't it?
Well, he's married,
Okay.
but... Because he married his mother,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't...
There's at least people speculating on subtext.
Yes.
That's more the thing.
Well, who the hell else would she mean? There's no Marsh here. Oh, you mean the person that lived in my apartment before me? Mrs. Kirsch. This was another scene, and I know we talked about it in our 2019 part 2, that I remember so vividly. And from what I remember the novel vividly. I remember the theatrical vividly. This part here, I'm a little fuzzy on, and I feel like they got it wrong. But I guess we'll all find out together here in about 5 minutes. Yeah, this would have been the very sink where all the blood came out.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really weird to go back and, like, see your childhood apartment.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
There are a couple around town that I occasionally will drive by and I go, oh yeah, that's my old house. Mm. And I often wonder what it looks like on the inside now and if it's anything like I actually remember it.
Sure.
Salt and pepper shaker collection on the mantle in the living room. Okay. That's peculiar.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like,
a
little...
Then the teeth.
The teeth, right? And then, I guess what's supposed to be blood. Again, ABC says you're not allowed to have any blood coming out of any people. Yeah, I don't know if that's the actor that plays the dad.
No, it was, because they had to do a full body cast for him.
She gets hit by a bus. It's funny that you remember Curry being like...
Oh, well,
almost. Bread truck. You remember Curry being in this way more than he actually is.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then the house is boarded up. That's actually a pretty good effect, that they're bouncing the balloon around like a ball.
However they manage that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of technology they had at this point. Why, this guy...
Fucking
greaseball, yeah. He's also got a tight pony.
Yeah. He's got way too much going on in that tie.
I think that was a pretty standard issue tie for 1990.
Yeah,
no?
No, I'm just saying there's a lot going on there.
It matches their couch. We kind of glossed over at the end of the last one when Henry Bowers saw the...
Went all pale.
He saw the It and the It. It's so weird to say.
Those things.
Those things. Fuck those things. So Bowers saw It and like went gray.
Yeah.
And possibly went crazy. We have seen neither hide nor hair of Bev's husband in this one.
No, he's
beyond
long gone so far.
She fell asleep with the phone number in her hand. The next flight to the United States.
So I'm guessing Bill was overseas?
Could be.
Living overseas?
Like literally just drop me anywhere in the contiguous 48.
Just parachute out.
I'll find my way. I don't remember them calling him Haystacks in the first
I don't
part.
recall
that was a very
that.
common nickname.
And I know a number of them actually did read the full novel before they started into the whole thing, so maybe if someone decided to throw some things in there that didn't end up in the actual screenplay, they kind of set things up and
right.
kind of...
Then they cut them?
Possibly.
I find it interesting that... is he going to go throw up again?
Yeah.
I find it interesting, like, Bill's nickname was Big Bill because he was the biggest of all of them.
Oh, well.
And he was their, you know...
A big brother more.
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah. He might have been a little older.
Sliver.
Geez, you guys.
Getting thick on it now.
I feel like they would have followed his plate, though, right? Like, if he's going to be a famous comedian, they all would have... They would know that he's...
Yeah. Something.
She's way prettier here. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you remember that time we all fucked in the sewer?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the child actor for Bev didn't know about it ahead of time. Then Mother told her to read the book.
Oh, no. Mommy, I don't want to do that.
It was a little peculiar experience in that regard.
Please skip over pages 941
because apparently all the other guys knew about it.
All the kid actors?
And that's the story I got off of it.
He went right to the mouth. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, Mike still hasn't seen the clown.
Right. I mean, if that's not a gay man, then there isn't. I don't know what there is. And I fucking hate Paisleys.
Mm-hmm. No, there we go.
He's still got that albuterol, eh? Or maybe it's just water with a little camphor to make it taste like medicine. I recently went on a trip to Provincetown, which is at the very tip of Cape Cod. It's also one of the gayest towns in America. Everybody looked just like this. Yeah, where is Stan? This makes sense, right?
Yeah,
like, I want to... Let's not kill the party.
Sure.
Now, is that something that he would just remember? Maybe it is. This is another one of those scenes that is like such an iconic scene in the movie, or in the book rather. And I know the 2019 got it right. shit starts coming out of your fortune cookies.
Yeah.
Like, you know that it's about to go down.
Right.
I do think about that every time I go to Panda Express.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great little montage here.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just stuffing their face with beef and broccoli and
Right.
various fish, oysters, possibly a crab, something there. There's legs and hoofs everywhere. Normally these kinds of shots make me dizzy.
Yeah. It's not going quite so fast.
There was a cut. It was weird. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really want to pass.
Yeah, let's not discuss that relationship.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot that they pinned the murders on Henry Bowers.
Just striking me again. And Mike's another one of those King characters who's lived the history. He's the Jed Crandall. He's Richard Farnsworth in Misery, that type of character a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe not with that much texture to him, but at least he fits that role for that story.
I don't know if there's ever been more of an archetypal fit than Mike. Like, Mike is like the grand high poobah of archivists and town historian characters. Interestingly, the sheriff in Needful Things, Pangborn, actually kind of plays that role because he's lived through a couple of other books.
Okay.
You know? Those look like serious fortune cookies, like homemade.
Real deal. Those are big suckers.
Gotta have room to fit the whole eyeball in there.
Yeah.
There's the remember thing again. That's a good line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't remember if it's exactly at the dinner or if it's at the library where they all slowly remember something. And then it's another round, a whole nother round of flashbacks. And all of the pieces come together. One of my other favorite side stories, and I think we talked about this before, I don't recall, is that one of Mike's backstories when he's talking about, learning the town history from his dad and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, a live roach there, gross. Yeah. There's the eyeball. They did a good job with that. That's weird, whatever it is, but I like it. The baby chicken,
Yeah.
I remember that one. Anyway, so one of Mike's tellings of the backstory was the fire at the little, I don't know if it was a restaurant or a nightclub or whatever, where his grandfather, I think, was at, and the black spot, I think is what they called it, and basically it was a black hangout, and the place burned to the ground and everybody died, and one of the people that survived, in a fun little twist, is a cook by the name of Dick Halloran, who goes to work at the Shining, the Overlook Hotel. So that was a fun little, like, wink, you know? He loves doing that. Everything's in the same universe, almost. I was going to say, the blood probably makes her remember having to clean up her own blood situation, not her blood, but... The characteristics that adult Richie and young Richie share are really well done.
Yeah.
The silence is so great. How many times has that been said? I really like the Richie character.
Yeah.
And this version, okay, Bill Hader to me is a god. Like, he can do no wrong. But it just wasn't the same. Like, and that I think Bill Hader is a better actor than Anderson.
Yeah.
But the way it's written is different.
Green and Anderson have a very compatible zaniness to them.
Right. I mean, and everybody knows that I love Finn Wolfhard like nobody else. The Stranger Things connection again, and various other whatevers. And yeah, I guess there's... I don't even know if there's a similar physical appearance or not, but it just didn't feel like those two necessarily meshed the same way.
Mm-hmm. I guess you could probably only say like the only discontinuity is like, okay, Seth Green had glasses, but Anderson's version doesn't, so...
Well, yeah, but you can explain that away very easily.
Contacts, yeah.
Oh, now we get Stan's backstory. It's interesting that his backstory, like, it's a way to kind of keep the character alive.
Yeah.
He was watching birds. Now, this bothers me because he literally just got done saying, I didn't see it. Stan's the one who saw it. And now he's going to tell us the story of what happened?
It's a little...
Like, Stan should have been the one to tell us what happened.
Yeah, it's a little smudgy.
And this part about it being a house was just kind of made up, but that's fine. Interesting decor. Gothic mansion. Maybe Michael Myers lives there. Is that a hoof? It's a mummy? But I thought that the mummy was the other... Oh, that was a werewolf.
Werewolf.
Yeah, I guess using your... This is his...
A moment, yeah.
Well, that's his defense, is naming birds. Like... You're not going to shoot it with albuterol or hit it with a silver bullet. We're going to just call out birds. And I don't think that the what was behind the clown part was explained very well in either.
No. That'll be something I'll comment on when we get towards the ending.
I don't remember them using the phrase deadlights in this one either, but they did. I
don't recall.
But they just did.
Okay. That's what happened to the other bully when he got sucked in.
Right. It's really hard to explain this to somebody that...
It's dense, it's weird. And I mean, it's so abstract.
Right.
Boy, did Masur not like this day whatsoever.
No, he had a bad time with that?
He was stuck in there for fucking ever, and he was so fucking uncomfortable. He got real pissy.
Wow, what's your sex life is great. Not only did I not remember them saying it, I don't remember them saying it like 18 times in this little scene.
In 3 minutes, yeah.
A little vegetable dip there. This is a good practical effect.
Yeah.
The book's blowing out of there.
Or some kind of air gun behind it or something.
I don't know how they did that. Love the typewriter going on its own. Yeah, this particular version is very, I don't know, watered down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it really does hit all of the elements that I think need to be hit.
Yeah.
Again, I just wish that we could expand on this script with Tim Curry in today's modern age of a 10-part miniseries, or maybe even a 3-part instead of a 2-part or something.
Something.
I still say that every once in a while. Unfortunately, Fortunately, I've never had a stutter. Mm-hmm. Even though I kind of stuttered just now saying that. But every once in a while, I'll bust out with a, he thrusts his fist against the post and still insists he sees the ghost, just because it's catchy in that Stephen King way. Great moon. The moon's awesome, right?
Sure.
I love the moon. M-O-O-N, that spells moon. This guy's somebody, right?
I have no clue.
The guy's got some Woody Harrelson vibes. Yeah, I think this guy's somebody. Adult Bowers.
I'm looking.
And they really only focused on this one other member of the gang to kind of be kind of represent everybody, you know?
His name is Michael Cole.
Oh, he's been announcing Raw for 25 years.
Not the same one, but
oh,
the one that was on the Mod Squad and various other things.
I gotta look and see where I know him from. And I don't know. Okay, so here Belch gives him the knife. I think it just kind of manifests itself. Oh no, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he does see one of the other guys. I don't know if it was Belch, but I remember him seeing one of the other guys. And then suddenly his knife appears. There's the great outfit again.
Mm-hmm. The weird dog head deal.
Well, again, I'm kind of okay with that because it's more so showing about how it's not really the clown.
Mm-hmm.
This Michael Cole actor that plays Henry Bowers here, still alive, 83 years old. Born on the 3rd of July, just like Tom Cruise.
That's my dad's birthday.
Tom Cruise starred in Born on the 4th of July, and
but he was born on the 3rd.
He was born on the 3rd, and I was mad. I was like,
false advertising.
That's right. I was trying to figure out where I knew this guy from. He did like one episode of ER, as did everybody else and their mother.
Well, it was on for like 10 years or something.
16, I think.
Jesus.
And yeah, there's nothing else on here that I really remember him from.
No. It wasn't that big of a filmography on the IMDb either.
The Mod Squad is really his big claim to fame. So they're going with 30 years because I guess it sounds backwards. Or sounds... I read the word backwards and said it. That's weird. The Black Spot Club. Yes, that's the one where his grandfather and Dick Halloran worked. all the puppy pictures on the back.
And this is something that I remarked when we did chapter 2. The entire thing of like the town just being either ignorant of it all, or the fact that Pennywise kind of casts almost like a spell over the adults in the entire town.
Right.
It was almost completely just absent from the other version. Which I think is... I feel like it's such a core element of the story that's like... Not only does this thing kind of come after children, it's kind of poisoned the whole town.
Right. Like... And that's been the running kind of gag about Derry.
Yeah.
Is that Derry is a poisoned town.
Yeah.
You know, and bad shit happens there because the town is evil.
Right. And it takes the metaphor that the adults can't see stuff, and it adds to that being like they're almost willfully ignorant of it.
Right.
Like they're slightly aware of it, but it's like
they're just gonna look the other way.
Yeah. So I like, that's a great thematic thing to tie into just behavior and mentality and mindset and psychology.
And we talk about it all the time in horror movies where, you know, the kid thinks that they're doing right and the parent says, I know better.
Yeah.
So, you know, oh, just get some sleep. You'll feel better in the morning.
Yeah.
And,
just gotta get nice and loaded.
And well, that's the thing. Like, there's
windows.
another comp, right? Marge Thompson knew damn well what was going on.
Oh yeah, straight up. And she's boozing,
and just said, you know, hey. Now she might not have known the sleep component.
Sure.
But at the same time, she was aware of the monster.
She probably went through the fucking Molotov cocktail and burned him up.
Right. So it really just begs the question, when the parents that are currently looking the other way in Derry, when they were kids 27 or 30 years ago, what was happening then that they could see and their parents couldn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that they put sorry on their sign. Like, most times, it just says no vacancy.
Sure.
Here they're at least apologetic about it.
Sure.
I'm sorry for you that we have done business and... So good.
Uh-oh.
The deadlights!
Yeah.
Give me that turtle. Give me that cocaine. Maybe I can understand.
How many kilos does it take to fight a space turtle into your novel?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But see, here's where... Like, this scene right here, even if it's not related to the story, you get the idea that they're sitting around telling stories.
Right.
You know? And in the new one, everyone is like, I need to go my separate way.
Yeah.
There isn't
We need to split up and search the town.
Right. And I feel like the camaraderie was lost. And then they just made up new shit to happen to them.
Because they ran dry of everything doing it in the first one. It's like, well, now we can't call back to the younger stuff without just doing the same thing all over again. So we gotta create a bunch of new crap that just like it feels like you're just repackaging the same stuff we did before.
He's really got a point, you know?
Yeah.
I really do think this was a change, because I think she had other kids help her.
Hmm.
And there was the very distinct the very distinct thing where the
yeah, okay, so since
okay, so
she cleans it up, Pennywise
up,
just reverts it back.
And then she has them come over. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was so clear that they could see it and the parents couldn't.
Yeah. And this creates more of a tension when the dad might come home and
see her.
Why you got half a dozen boys in your place.
Right, and one of them's black.
Black kid. And
right.
You might as well make him a bigot as well. Already a drunken piece of crap.
I mean, it would only make sense for the time, right?
Yeah.
I fell in love with all you guys that day. Oh. You should see what happens next, lady.
Oh.
I always thought it was weird the way he touches her. Like, when she faints and she's coming around and he's like really caressing her face and her head. And here he's really
kind of handsy.
He is very handsy. I mean, his last name is Hanscom.
I mean, Ritter's the best looking one of the whole bunch.
As far as like attractive males?
Yeah, he's
or you mean just his overall look?
Just a look.
I don't know about that vest.
I know, I dig it.
That leather vest belongs on the gay guy.
I'd rather have him wear the leather vest than the bolo tie.
I'd buy that. I think Mike here is.
Yeah, he's good. Reid looks good.
I think I like that. He's always elegant in his attire.
Yeah. Roberta's got kind of the burly man thing going with the beard.
No, I agree. I agree. So far, both of these bedrooms have had the same floral lamp. Oh, there he is. There's Bowers. Mr. Mod Squad himself. I don't remember them having electric toothbrushes back in 1990. Maybe they were a fortune. What is he drinking? Piss?
She knew.
Oh, she knew.
Oh, but this is not actually her.
That? Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
I thought you meant it wasn't the actress.
No.
Annette O'Toole.
No.
Well, Pennywise will do whatever it takes.
Well.
I think it'd be kind of fun to have the ability to just turn into another person. Here's where the audience is going, oh, really? And this is exciting.
The glove are on the edge. Nice.
The makeup, yes. And then the MC Hammer pants.
Nice makeup on the face, too. I like it.
Yeah, the makeup on the face is the first thing I noticed. And now it's gone.
That's a nicely done scene.
Right, and
lures you in. There's like it kind of tips you off, like she's a little too sultry, too seductive, too falling over him. Like no, yeah, the sun's off here, and then little reveals. Nice. It's really, really expertly done.
It's much like Mrs. Kirsch.
Yeah.
In the slow reveal there.
Sure, yeah.
I do remember Mike getting stabbed in
Yeah.
the movie, or in the book, rather.
Yeah.
Wow, how are they carrying him like that? That's weird. Oof. Under the arms and then wheelbarrow style on the leg? I don't know how I would
I don't know how you're all fitting in there, man.
It's a clown car.
Camaro.
In the theatrical version, I think that the Mike character is the least likable of them.
Well, they took all of his archive stuff and give it to Bill, I think.
Right. It's weird.
They really
we talked about this.
Yeah, they stripped his character away, so it's like,
why is he there?
Why is he there? And then he took all of his characterization and his purpose in the story and gave it to someone else. I don't know why you would do that.
Well, you would do that because the first movie is all about the kids.
Right.
And you don't need historian until later. And then by the time you do need it, there's no point in going back to the history.
Right. Well, again, that's the problem I was saying in the first. We were discussing the first half of this thing. It's like they made chapter 1 so self-contained that when you got to the second one, there's a bunch of stuff that's really pertinent to really kind of have there to make the story work, but you already either didn't take the time to set it up in the first one, or you already screwed yourself the first time by shifting it off or doing something else with it. You had so much less material to use. Not really.
Ritter is so good at everything he's ever done.
Now he's all freaked out.
Right. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was really like...
It's effective storytelling. Now you're kind of twisting their heads all around.
What is with the veins in her face?
Yeah, I kept noticing it. Like, the transfer's so good, it's almost detrimental to some things.
It was like when WWE switched to high-def cameras, and then you could see their spray tans melting on their face.
Oh, fucking, yeah.
It was like, oh.
Orange pumpkin Triple H.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but there was somebody's leg, and there was, like, drips down the leg.
I'll tell you who it was. It wasn't Sheamus.
No, that's correct.
It was not him.
That's correct. What kind of doctor is this, really?
He looks a little schlubby.
I guess one of you could go in for a minute with his hands in his pockets. That's not a doctor.
Yeah.
I think it was in this scene, in the story, where Mike tells Bill some backstory. I don't remember which one. I know there's also a point in the novel where you get to read Mike's journal, I think, or something, as like a separate little section. King loves to do that too. Maybe it was like a letter from his father or something that you read. I don't know. There was...
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, you were 30. I guess not. You were 32, 33. His story is actually really super interesting.
Yeah.
And
makes you wish that there was more of it.
They cut the legs out on the remake, and here they cut it off a little, you know. Here I guess legs. There they cut it at the neck.
This one just is a little more, just a tad bit shallower than where it could be.
Right. But it's still 10 times better than what we got in 2019.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, there was the flashback from before.
Yeah, now she's putting it more together.
Richie's always been I'm already on the next plane out of town.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I'm third.
There it is.
I love it. I love it. She doesn't want to be caught reading his book. She's got her pen out. And this song was playing in one of the other scenes. I forget which one. It said it in the subtitles that this...
Sure.
I don't know if it was in the Georgie getting killed scene. I think so. I think the mom was playing it on the piano while he was upstairs with the brother. Because the mom might have been a teacher or something. It's all making sense now. That's a hell of a bag. Look at this thing.
That's a lot.
I think it'd be $400 today. I guess this is, I don't know if you'd consider this a lost point. I guess it's not, because the lost point would be where the main character feels so up against the odds that you don't think that there's any way to overcome it. But this is definitely a spot here in Act 2 where basically everyone's abandoning him and saying, we're not going to carry out the objective anymore.
Yeah.
And it's 12 Angry Men here, where one guy's got to literally convince all the other guys, hey, change your mind, come with me. 12 Angry Men could have won Best Picture, I swear to Christ. And now Richie's the holdout. He's the new Stan.
Yep. I like that they cut out just to give a little suspense on it.
Yeah, that's effective storytelling.
Yeah.
Mike's still in the hospital.
Yep.
I couldn't figure out what kind of car that was.
Camaro IROC Z.
What are the boots that he's wearing, Eddie?
Big ol'. Yeah.
He's got, Bill. That guy, he's got a little Bill Paxton in his vocal delivery.
A little bit, maybe.
But you're gonna.
It's nice how they left that scene where he doesn't join the group hug, and he's still a little bit on the outs.
And I think it's only natural.
He's just
that
a little bit reluctant at every step.
I feel like in any group of 5 people, there's gonna be one guy who says...
Came in and hawing over it.
Right, like maybe this isn't the right choice.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the scenario is. Anybody out there listening, think of the last time you were with 4 of your friends. One of you probably disagreed on some little thing.
Yeah. What you gonna go do? Where are you gonna go?
Maybe it was you. Maybe you're the Richie Tozier of this group. Maybe you need a machine gun. Probably not. I don't think anybody ever needs a machine gun for anything. Hopefully my dad's not listening. He might shoot me with his machine gun. Trail of breadcrumbs right there at the entrance. I think that's from the book. I really do think that Audra ends up in the sewer with...
Okay.
That's a nightmare shot right there.
Yeah, that's right out of Dream Warriors with the Wizard Master sequence.
Damn, I wish I knew. It's right on the tip of my tongue, and his incantation that he shouts at Freddy. Forget what it is. Shit. I do like that they've emphasized the stuttering. in my memory of this miniseries, the second night with the adults is far inferior to night one. And sitting here watching it now, I feel like I'm enjoying part two more than I ever have before.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're just talking.
Yeah.
And, noticing things.
Right. There's the whole thing, like, we're not dealing as much with exploring their fears like the first half did.
Right.
So I can see why it would kind of look more like it's a lot of talky character interaction stuff instead of dealing with Pennywise and all the stuff goes on. Because when we did the first part, I was like, oh, he probably appears a lot more in the second half. He feels like he's less in the second half than he's the first one.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm interested to see if the internet knows, or if anybody knows in the comments, what the total screen time is for Tim Curry in this movie. I can't imagine it being more than 10 or 12 minutes.
Mm. Yeah.
That's another one, the nickname, the Spaghetti Man. Eddie Spaghetti. And there's the boat. Did he see Georgie in the first part, night one?
The shadow of the camera against the backlight.
Oh, really? I missed it.
Yeah, you see like the camera hood. That's what you get when you got a running gun. Short schedule. A lot of time to finesse.
I do think that night two is really shortened in their budget.
There's not as much. There's not as much visual effects stuff.
And there's Georgie with one arm. This is the first time anybody's ever implied that he lost his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever this actor is, he's doing a good job at the stuttering.
I think it was Richard Thomas. Yes.
He's good at fake stuttering, stammering, stuttering Stanley.
He was John Boy Walton in The Waltons, which won an Emmy Award.
Really? That's John Boy.
John Boy. He's in the FX series The Americans.
I'm familiar with that. I never watched it, though. I heard it was good.
He's touring in To Kill a Mockingbird as Atticus Finch, so...
Currently?
That's what it says on his Wikipedia. And they had the last tour in 2022. Yes, he was.
That's the lead role, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was the Gregory Peck role.
Gregory Peck, yeah.
And he succeeded Jeff Daniels in the role.
Oh, wow. Jeff Daniels we just covered.
Yeah. He's worth something. For certain.
Wonder if he still has that mullet.
I don't think so.
Good. How many sewers have you been in where they were cavernous and you could just walk around?
I've had zero. I've been in zero.
Zero sewers?
Period. You mentioned this in the Jason Takes Manhattan commentary. It's like, whoever wrote this, whoever designed this, has never been in a sewer in their entire life. They have no idea what's down there.
Well, the same could be said about a ventilation duct.
Yes. Let me try to crawl into this one up here.
Well, that one's about 8 inches by 14 inches. It certainly doesn't fit an entire man.
Barely fit my foot in there.
Granted, we're not in a commercial building.
Sure, but...
Plaza. Plaza implies more than one establishment, no?
Mm-hmm.
It was only one building, Nakatomi. It was Nakatomi.
The Fox Plaza was the shoot name.
Yeah, but why is it a plaza?
I don't know.
What's the definition?
Because they can call whatever they want it.
I'm going to look it up. According to Merriam-Webster, a plaza is a public square in a city or town. It's an open area usually located near urban buildings. It is a place on a thoroughfare, such as a turnpike, at which all traffic must temporarily stop. An area adjacent to an expressway which has service facilities. So, a public square in a city or town, which means...
Still doesn't apply either way.
One building cannot a plaza make.
It's a privately owned building. It's not a public place.
Right. It's not a plaza. Fox or Nakatomi or otherwise. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things we bring to you on this channel.
Another thing in terms of the rush schedule stuff is that when I think it was getting into this area, this set, Wallace wasn't happy with the lighting. It felt it was too bright.
It almost has to be, though, in order for you to tell what's going on.
Yeah, for the TV screen back then, definitely. But you can kind of tell, yeah, the rocks look like they're styrofoam or plastic or whatever the hell it is. They don't look like real rocks.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of amusement park, attraction.
Yeah.
That's not true. He fucked Beverly in the sewer right here. Maybe not this version. So you're saying you'll sleep with Richie?
Gotta shave the mustache first before you do that.
Oh my God, yes.
He's not attractive with the
I
stash.
ain't going on no mustache there.
He's not Tom Selleck.
He's not anybody. This was in the book. The little hobbit door. I don't know about the candle. Who lit the candle? By the skull and crossbones.
You know, like the Goonies.
A little bit. Little bit.
Weird cavernous regions that don't look entirely convincing on screen.
Hey, you guys. The Goonies is so fun. Now...
Oh, that's a matte painting.
Well, 2/3 of it was.
There she is.
Is it,
Talk about screen time.
No.
5 minutes of screen time, the whole thing.
She's a very minor character, I get it, but...
Yeah. There we go. This is where it fell off the train for a lot of people.
A lot of people. Now, in context, though, like, the Pennywise, obviously manifests itself as various things.
Right. But you're so enraptured by Curry. It kind of goes back to the thing like,
look at that
doing
thing.
A whole bunch of like ghastly makeup on him. It's like you're obscuring the point you have here. You got a great performer in a role, and it's the performance of the character that means something, not showing you some ugly thing that looks terrifying in a vacuum. It's so disconnected now. Even if you had maybe a scene where he like transforms from one thing to the next, that'd be something, but to just say, there's no more Curry, it's just this stop motion animation animatronic thing.
That is half spider, half turtle?
Right, and it's not digestible. When you spent 3 hours being enraptured by the performance of the actor in the role, and now it's no longer an actor in a role. It's just a special effect now. 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 It's just a special effect
and one that doesn't have any sort of relation to anything earlier in the movie.
Right. That's half the thing.
The battle with the kids and Pennywise is much more significant.
Yeah. And also, I mean, and it's a little bit on your thing of like no new evidence in the third act. It's not really evidence, but it kind of is, because you're kind of revealing what it is behind the veneer of what we've seen so far. Well, any setup. You've kind of alluded to something here and there, but it's not. You've not created as.
Oh, look at the wires!
Yeah.
Everywhere there's wires.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But just felt like, yeah, you might have alluded to like there's something behind the clown, but no one really cares about that as you're watching this. You just care about the clown.
Right.
Because that's what's scary. If you're going to do this, you have to do something to kind of set up with lore or some sort of slight reveal at some point in time. Like,
maybe
at the end of the first half, maybe there's just a sliver of something. Maybe it grows some tentacle arms, some kind of weird arms or whatnot. They're going to just hint at the creature that it is, but they just throw it at you at the last 10 minutes of the whole thing. It's not right.
I don't know if this is the creature that it is, other than this is what it just happens to be in the moment.
Right. That's
other than the turtle deadlights thing.
Yeah.
Which, had they done that, I forget what they call it, the fort that they built where they do the clubhouse, the smoke out. Yeah. Had they done that and all had the visualization, and maybe that's why Tommy Wallace said, I wanted to have that.
Yeah.
Because it would have made this a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
The special effects are bad also, which makes it worse.
Yeah. And Wallace said this wasn't the design that he agreed upon. The guys in special effects just kind of went off almost on their own and redesigned the whole thing. So, problem is you get to the set and this is what you got, and you can't just go off and stop production for 6 weeks.
Right.
And redo the whole thing. That's not the way it worked at the time. At this scale of a production.
How old was Anderson when he died?
I bet he was in his 60s. It's only a couple years ago.
2018 he died. He was 65 years old. So it really puts into perspective when he just made a joke that said, if this thing comes back when I'm 70.
No.
And now he didn't make it to 70.
Yeah.
And he was born in 1952. So he would have been 70 in 2022.
Hmm.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's why everybody.
It just doesn't look good on camera.
This is why everybody hates this movie.
Yeah, this is the crux. I mean, thing is, you might have a somewhat underwhelming movie, but you have a great ending. People remember the ending. It's like, okay, it paid off.
Usual Suspects.
Something like that. But if you have a really good film, but then you kind of taint the ending, it's like, oh, well, that fizzled. Well, I ain't gonna worry. I'm not gonna waste my time on that, because if you have a good time, then it falls off. It's like, well, now you just kind of ruined the whole thing.
Right. And it kind of feels like the spider ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, and I agree with Wallace. The set is, even for this master, it is too bright. Something. It all just looks a little on the cheap side. And it's not satisfying, because at least in the new version, they tried to halfway do it. They kept the clown pretty prevalent because they could do all digital effects and everything. It's like half spider, half clown. And you still had Skarsgård in there in the mix. They kind of sanded off the rough edges of it and tried to mold it into something that's a little bit more palatable. And plus in the new one, they had a lot more things about changing shape and doing things here and there where they could do a lot more
with the digital, right?
And the technology to work on certain things. So they were able to massage the ideas more to make it feel more organic as it gets to that point.
Well, shit. Okay, this aired in November of 1990.
Yeah, huh?
And the Michael Jackson black or white music video debuted in less than a year later.
Yeah.
Where he turns into a cougar and then back again. But also the shape-shifting...
Yeah.
All the different men and women morphing into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is 10 times greater than anything that's been here.
Yeah. Yeah, there was still... feels like they were using stop-motion optical effects. And she's... Yeah, I remember this thing. Yeah, so did Bev's father die? Because isn't he... He is in the latter half of the novel, isn't he? He comes back to Derry, isn't it? Or at least there's like a manifestation of him or something.
There is, I think.
There's more of them than they had here in the back half.
I think it's in the Kirsch scene that.
Right. He shows up there. I just felt like there was more.
I think there is another scene.
Those,
yes.
His wife, Bev's father. I felt like they came back more into the story here in a way. They kind of like drive the Losers Club off.
It was also
like running interference.
The husband was more than the father, I think.
The husband. That's why I'm taking off this abusive bastard in her life.
Yes,
the husband, the abusive husband.
In the novel, the husband, yes.
That's what I was getting at.
There were three. It was It was Audra, the husband.
Shows how much I forgot about the husband.
Right.
It showed up in 2.5 hours.
Right. Yeah, it was basically a blip on the...
Yeah. No.
And neither one of these adaptations talked about the standpipe, the watering water reservoir that was, destroyed when they were underground and all hell was breaking loose. And the standpipe fell over and rolled down the hill and, basically forever changed the landscape of the town.
Mm.
And if you go to Bangor, Maine, and you go to the Derry Standpipe, there is in a little park there is a giant bird bath, and then the park bench in which he sat and wrote a majority of this story. And it totally, he's looking at his surroundings and coming up with anecdotes. It's about a 5-minute walk from his home.
There you go.
Love the circus music. That's fun. And this is basically what you would have cut out of night one.
Yeah.
There's Michael Cole. It feels very...
jittery, yeah.
Jittery, yeah. Like, it's hard to read.
Yeah.
And it's also going by super fast.
Yeah, there's a problem with those TV credits. They got to get out of there at the end of the hour.
Yeah, no shit.
So much so that they stop showing end credits for the most part. They're about 1/10 of the size of your screen down there.
Right. The little box, the insert box.
Or like...
And sometimes you want to read them and you don't know how to click it to make it go back to that without accidentally hitting next episode or whatever the fuck.
Or like, if you have like an older television show for like 70s, 80s, 90s, now the cable networks, they actually speed up the episode.
Right.
Which I can't watch it.
I know, it's awful.
It's awful. It's like watching with motion smoothing on.
Oh, gross. That's the worst.
Gross.
The worst.
Gross.
The good news is our credits are over at about a minute as opposed to we've had ones that were 8-9 minutes.
Yeah.
So, well, we appreciate everyone joining us for this. This is fun.
Yeah. So.
Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. What you like better.
Yeah. Definitely just compare and contrast the different versions and here, there, and everywhere, and comment about what didn't work for part 2 as much for you. There are certain performances, certain things like that just didn't quite hit the mark. So guys, thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon.
Adios.